The grass parts without a sound. 18 feet of muscle and scale moves through the undergrowth, head raised just above the ground, tongue flicking to taste the air. This is the King Cobra, the longest venomous snake alive on Earth today, capable of delivering enough venom in a single bite to kill 20 grown men. Elephants have died from its strike. This particular cobra has spent the morning hunting for eggs, and it has found what it was looking for: a burrow dug into the base of an old termite mound, the unmistakable scent of a den still fresh at the entrance. Cobras are among the few snakes intelligent enough to actively seek out other predators young as prey, and a mongoose den, if left undefended, is exactly the kind of meal worth the risk. It is not left undefended. And right now, it is being hunted by something roughly the size of a house cat. The mongoose emerges from the tree line, low to the ground, eyes fixed on the massive snake ahead. It weighs perhaps 4 pounds, its fur a coarse gray-brown, built for exactly this kind of confrontation, whiskers twitching as it reads every shift in the cobra's posture. The cobra outweighs it by more than 10 times, longer than 3 mongooses laid end to end. By every measure of size, speed, and lethality, this fight should already be over before it starts. It isn't. The mongoose has a secret written into its own bloodstream. Millions of years of evolution have reshaped the receptors in its nervous system, the exact molecular locks that cobra venom is built to pick. In most mammals, the toxin slides in perfectly, shutting down the nerves that control breathing within minutes. In the mongoose, the lock has changed shape. The venom can still find its way in, still cause damage, still kill if enough is delivered. But it takes far more, and it takes far longer. What would end a human in under an hour might merely slow a mongoose down. This is not full immunity. It is something closer to a head start. The trait didn't appear by chance. Across generations of mongooses that hunted snakes for food, the individuals born with slightly altered receptors survived bites that would have killed their littermates and passed that alteration forward. Over enough generations, the entire species carries a nervous system quietly rebuilt to survive an encounter most other mammals could not. The cobra sees the mongoose and rises. Nearly a third of its body lifts off the ground, hood flaring wide, the ancient warning display meant to end confrontations before they begin. For most animals, this is the moment to retreat. The mongoose does not retreat. It bounces on its front paws instead, a strange rocking motion, closing the distance in short, deliberate hops. The cobra strikes. The movement is nearly too fast to follow. A blur of muscle covering 6 feet in a fraction of a second, fangs extended, aimed directly at the mongoose's head. And somehow, impossibly, the mongoose is no longer there. It has already twisted sideways, using a burst of reflex that seems to defy its own small size, and the cobra's fangs find only empty air and dust. The strike leaves a shallow furrow in the dirt, where the mongoose's head had been a heartbeat earlier. This is the real weapon the mongoose carries. Not the venom resistance. That is only insurance, a safety net, in case things go wrong. The true advantage is speed. A mongoose can react to a striking snake nearly twice as fast as the strike itself develops, watching the muscle contraction begin and moving before the fangs have even left the cobra's mouth. The cobra recoils, reloading for another strike. The mongoose doesn't back away. It moves in closer, almost taunting, darting forward and pulling back, forcing the massive snake to spend its strength again and again on strikes that never land. Minutes pass. The cobra strikes 6 times, 7, 8. Each miss costs it more than the mongoose realizes, or perhaps exactly as much as the mongoose intends. Venomous snakes are built for a single decisive strike, an ambush weapon meant to end an encounter before it becomes a fight. They are not built for a battle of endurance. Every strike that fails to connect drains muscle glycogen the cobra cannot easily replace out here in the open, away from the safety of its den. The mongoose, by contrast, seems to be just getting started. Its bouncing rhythm never slows. Its eyes never leave the cobra's head, the only part of the snake with fangs, the only part that can actually kill it. By the ninth strike, something has changed. The cobra's movements have lost their precision. The hood, once held rigid and wide, begins to sag. What was a calculated ambush predator minutes ago is now simply exhausted, running on a nervous system never designed for a fight this long. Behind the mongoose, barely visible at the mouth of the burrow, two kits watch the confrontation from the safety of the entrance tunnel. They are too young to help, too young even to fully understand what they are watching. But they will remember this the way every mongoose eventually learns it. Not through instruction, but through inherited instinct, passed down from mothers who fought this exact fight and survived it. The mongoose sees the opening too. It closes the distance in a single fluid motion. Not the cautious hop and retreat of before, but a direct, committed lunge. Jaws open, aimed not at the cobra's body, where a bite would do little, but at the base of the skull, the one place where a single strike can end everything. The cobra tries to react, tries to pull back, but the reflexes that saved it a dozen times in the wild are no longer there. The mongoose's jaws close around the back of the snake's head and do not let go. What follows is not fast. The cobra's body coils and thrashes, wrapping around the mongoose's smaller frame in a final, desperate attempt to crush what it could not bite. But the mongoose has already delivered the injury that matters. It rides out the thrashing, jaws locked, until the movements slow, then stutter, then finally stop. Even now, the mongoose does not immediately relax. It holds the grip for several seconds longer than seems necessary, a final insurance policy against a predator known, on rare occasions, to feign stillness before striking one last time. Only when the cobra's body goes fully limp does the mongoose release its hold and step back, breathing hard, its own fur matted with dirt and a thin line of the cobra's blood. In the hours that follow, the mongoose will do what it came here to do: feed. A king cobra this size represents weeks of food for an animal this small, and nothing here goes to waste. The kits emerge from the burrow once the danger has fully passed, cautious at first, then bolder, circling the motionless body of a predator that could have ended their lives an hour earlier. What was, minutes ago, the most dangerous snake in the region has become simply another meal, and, without either animal knowing it, another lesson passed down the only way mongooses ever learn anything that matters. But here is what the story usually leaves out. Not every mongoose wins this fight. The venom resistance is not a guarantee, it is a buffer, and a buffer can still run out. Mongooses have died from cobra bites when a strike lands clean, when exhaustion sets in too early, when the odds tilt just slightly the wrong way. The mongoose does not enter this fight knowing it will win. It enters knowing only that its odds are better than they should be, and that a fight built on speed and patience beats a fight built on venom alone, more often than either side expects. The king cobra, for all its size and lethality, was built to end confrontations in a single strike. It was never built to survive being wrong 9 times in a row. The mongoose was built for exactly that. If you want more stories about the animals that survive, not through size or raw strength, but through the strange, unequal advantages evolution quietly hands out, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.